Okay, I'm back. I'm having some issues with my internet today, you guys, so I'm so sorry if this is a little bit slow. If it continues to be a problem, I will come back, maybe redo this another day. Sometimes living in the desert, my Wi-Fi is really terrible, so I'll give it a minute just for people to rejoin, and then we'll go into it. Yeah. So what I'll do is, let me do this. Hello, hello, welcome back, welcome. I'm not sure if you were here a second ago. My Wi-Fi is a little bit off, so please let me know, you guys, if it's freezing up at all for you, and I will reschedule this so that it actually is working. I live in the desert, and sometimes the Wi-Fi is a little bit cray, so I appreciate you bearing with me. So if you are just jumping in, I am just going to go over what we did last time when we had our little vision boarding party, you guys. We each did our 3 to 5 larger goals in each of these areas. We chose what our goals are going to be for, or our intentions, what they're going to be for 2022. So with this, if you have not done this part of the work yet, you can do it now. You can, even just pick one larger goal in each area. I'm gonna just fill in my goals, a couple of them, and then I'm gonna show you how I go about breaking them down into bite-sized pieces. Because so much of what happens, and I'm sure you guys can relate, is that like we set these goals for the new year, and then like life happens, or we like set these goals that are goals that, honestly should be like 3 to 5 year goals, and they're just totally like unattainable. So when you're picking your 3 to 5 larger goals for like all of these areas, make sure that they are feasible for you to do in 12 months. Make sure they're reasonable, because otherwise you're gonna feel like, you're not getting things done. You're gonna be hard on yourself, and sometimes it's just too overwhelming, right? We set a goal and we're like, yeah, I want to do this, but it's like required. Like, I want to learn French. Like, yeah, and like it may take longer than a year to do that. So, it's like give yourself room to grow. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so I'll start off with like some easier practical goals. If you guys want to share what your goals are, if you're having trouble breaking them down into tangible bite-sized pieces, just drop it in the chat and I will help you with your goals. So one of my big career goals this year is, let's say, which one do I want to do? I want to launch this journal prompt card deck. So for those of you who were on the vision boarding party, I have this idea that I want to put together like kind of almost like, I have these angel cards that I really love, and they're super beautiful. They have beautiful art on them, and I'm obsessed with it. And I like how big they are. And so I'm essentially wanting to launch a product for you guys that's going to be like a card that you pull that has a journal prompt on it, or a healing exercise on it. And so that you guys can do the work in bite-sized pieces, the healing work, and have resources for your journal prompts and for things to do. And they're going to be different card decks, different sections. So there'll be like shadow work cards, there'll be inner child healing cards, there will be self-discovery cards, and so lots of really cool things. Get a job abroad, I love this. Where specifically, do you know where you want to work abroad? Or is it kind of just like anywhere would be great? Because that's totally something that you can do. And a lot of places right now, I know Italy is doing this. I think Costa Rica. There's a lot of places that are offering incentives for work abroad people. So if you can get a digital nomad style job where most of us are really working from home anyway, you can go to any of these places and they will subsidize your move and help you get out there. And this is stuff you can all Google, and I've been looking at it too. So I'm with you on that. So we can work on breaking that down. So actually what I'll do is let's put your goal down here. So this is like a big thing, right? It's like, so what like bite-sized pieces can you think of, right, to start putting together this goal? So what comes to mind for me is researching places I want to live, right? If you are not working in a situation where you can work from a laptop and work from anywhere, you might want to research digital nomad jobs. And so honestly, everybody's hiring right now because no one's wanting to work. And so actually you'd be able to really easily kind of switch if you needed to. Oh my God, Germany, lovely. It would be a work transfer. Okay, beautiful. So then I think if you already know like then where you want to go and it's a work transfer, then it would just be about like what would be the first step in doing that? Like what would be the first step in like inquiring about a work transfer? Maybe researching how much money it costs to live in Germany. Like what would that actually cost you, so you can start budgeting. Give yourself a timeline. And that's the thing too, is like a lot of us don't give ourselves like an actual working timeline. And so if you have a goal, right, and you're like, I want to work transfer to Germany, I want to move abroad, give yourself a time. Like give yourself, maybe you want to move in August and that's going to be the month that you move, right? Then all of a sudden things are going to start moving forward and you're going to start making those moves and breaking things down into smaller tasks. So that's kind of how I do it. I have also a free download. I think, you know what? I don't know if it's actually live. I'll put in my link in bio. I have like a whole kind of like workbook for breaking down your goals and stuff. And so you can use that as well. So with this, if I'm going to be launching this thing, then what am I going to need? Well, I'm going to need to write out like 100 journal prompts. I'm going to need to organize the prompts into groupings. I'm going to need to design the cards themselves. Gonna have to create the cards on Canva, set up, I think it's Printful. Printful.com is really cool for drop shipping. So that way I don't have to order inventory. Let's see, what else? I have to market it on social media. So that's going to be a whole launch campaign, which includes like multiple steps, which I'm not going to like write out here. It's going to be testing cards with people to see if people actually enjoy using them before I launch. And of course you can reorganize, right, the order of these things, like just brain dump out like all of the different small steps that you need to take to get this goal accomplished. So this is kind of a nice little thing, right? But now let's say, okay, I have to write out 100 journal prompts. You can break down your sub goals to even more bite-sized pieces, which I recommend. The smaller that you're breaking down your goals, the easier it's going to be to actually get them done every day. I can't tell you, like, I'm looking at this and I'm already overwhelmed. Like, I am not going to sit and write 100 journal prompts in one sitting. So I think if I'm going to break this down, I probably would do like maybe keep it super simple. 10 prompts a day for 10 days, right? So that means that like I only have to actually come up with maybe 10 prompts or 5 journal prompts and 5 little exercises. And then I'm just going to type those out and keep them on a document. I'm not going to then go and design the cards and then do it all at once. Like you don't have to do that. I'm just going to scroll over here and just say, what's up guys? If you're just joining us, I'm just going through how to take your larger goals and break them down into bite-sized, tangible pieces so that you can actually move the needle forward and making your 2022 stuff happen. If you have any questions about goals that you have, feel free to either video in and we can talk about breaking down your goals, or if you want to put it in the chat, I'm super happy to help you work through breaking it down for yourself. So this is one of my goals. I want to do a journal prompt card deck for you guys. And so I'm just kind of breaking down what are the steps that need to happen in order for me to be able to do this. So like I said, write down everything you can think of and then actually ask yourself, does anything need to be broken down into an additional smaller step, right? So let's say organize prompts into groupings. That's super easy. Design the cards. That's going to take time, but there's really nothing I can do to, I guess if I wanted to break it down, I would do like I would do research, card designs. So like go on Pinterest and like look at different types of cards that, you know, people are creating and see if there's any kind of design or aesthetic that I like for my own deck. Then it would probably be researching some graphic artists or graphic designers, because as much as I love Canva and I use it all the time, if I'm going to be making a really beautiful, really unique card deck for you guys, I want it to be 100% like unique and specific to me. So I'm going to hire somebody to do that. If you're watching and you're a graphic artist, let me know because I'm looking for you. So starts with researching, right? So research card design, research graphic artists to help with the design. I can also start playing around on Canva with just creating mock-ups, mock-up designs. And I would say, you know, if you are going to do your own product, you could just like create a template on Canva, create template designs for the cards. So you don't necessarily need to hire anybody for that. But anyway, I hope you guys are getting kind of the idea, right? So then let's go into, so this is the actual creating of the card. So designing and creating, so different. So I guess this would go down here. Yeah. Setting up Printful is like an online account, so that's really a one-step thing. And now marketing on social media is like a whole, like launching is a whole thing. It has like a million steps, but I'm not going to bore you with all of that stuff here. And then testing cards with people. So find a group to try out the cards. Create feedback form to get their feedback. Organize a time to send, or I guess we wouldn't meet with everybody. So I guess organize a call for a focus group so people can get the cards and then I can have a call with them and they can tell me if they hate them or not. All right, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. We are basically going through goal setting and breaking down goals into bite-sized pieces. So if you are here and you are working on your 2022 goals, feel free to work on yours as I work on mine, and that way we can hold each other accountable and getting this shit done. If you haven't yet, you want to pick 3 to 5 larger goals in each of these areas. So career, finances, mind, spirit, creativity, health, relationships, and inner healing. So if you have not done this yet, I want you to pick 3 to 5 reasonable guys, goals that you're gonna reach in 2022. So, you know, when it comes to things like finances, like if you are just like, you know, in school and not making any money or something like that, then your goal for finances shouldn't be, I'm going to make $5 million in 2022 if you don't have a business and don't have any income coming in. Like that's going to be setting yourself up for not feeling great. So make sure that it's stuff that's doable. And then we can take that and break it down to even smaller goals. So this is a pretty tangible goal, right? I want to create a physical product. So these kind of smaller sub steps to get there are going to be pretty tangible. When it comes to things like inner healing, it gets a little muddy, right? Because we can't really predict what's going to happen, you know, throughout the year. And it's a little bit less tangible, you know, in terms of like, you know, how do we actually break down our healing goals and, you know, in a way that we're going to be doing stuff that's going to help us get there. So let's see, what is one of my inner healing goals? What did I write? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for my inner healing goals, one of my goals was to connect with my inner shadow, my shadow self more. And so for those of you who don't know, your shadow self is like parts of your personality or parts of yourself and who you are, your core self, that you have kind of pushed away, you know, shunned, criticized, like, you know, kind of made to die off because other people have told you like these parts of yourself aren't lovable. Shadow self is also the stuff that we do when we're unhealed, like the stuff that we have done to other people that's maybe not great, or you know, just the hard questions that we have to ask ourselves. I was going through a really deep healing journey. I mean, I still am. But for the last 7 years, it's been about being really gentle with myself and being like really loving and accepting and, you know, pushing myself to grow. But I really, really feel now in a place of like, okay, I did the soft stuff and now I really want to do more hard healing work. So one of the things that I really want to do is like get in touch with that darker part of myself, with that part of myself that carries shame or guilt or fear or things like that. So it's a little bit more of like I would say like secondary step in the healing journey. Like I would definitely work more in the light space as you're starting out, but then when you're really kind of, you have the tools and you've been doing the work, like dive into the shadow work. It's phenomenal and it really will keep you you know, real with yourself, which I think a lot of us tend to bypass the things that we do when we're unhealed and how we sometimes can hurt other people, or we bypass really looking at the parts of ourselves that we are pushing aside or hiding. And it's all about integration, because who we are as whole human beings is enough. We are enough. We are beautiful. We are amazing. We may not do things that are beautiful and amazing all the time, but at our core, we really are, each of us, super wonderful and special, and we deserve to feel whole. And when we feel whole, it's not just by embracing the parts of us that we love, it's by also embracing the parts of us that we don't want to look at, you know? So if this is resonating and you are also like, wow, I really should look at some of these things about myself that I've been avoiding, you might want to do shadow work. So since this is one of my goals, to connect with my shadow self more regularly, what does that look like in terms of like daily steps that I can take to do that? Well, meditation, obviously, every single day, because that is finding the stillness to actually go within and ask yourself questions and receive answers and wisdom and connect with these parts of your psyche. So meditating every day is going to be a goal for me. And that's also part of the challenge for the 90-day challenge that I'm hosting, is that we're all going to meditate every single day, you guys, for 5 minutes and really create amazing neuroplasticity, heal the brain, work on the nervous system, and you know, program ourselves to really get what we want from life. So if you're just joining us, quick recap, breaking down larger goals into bite-sized pieces so that you guys can get your 2022 stuff done. Also, just like with the caveat that we are living in a pandemic, it is crazy out there, there's a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. So as we're setting these goals, like make them realistic, make them aligned with where you are right now. You know, I went through a period where I had very little energy, and like chances are you might be feeling a little depressed, anxious, paralyzed. I mean, these are all responses that are normal to have when the world is burning alive and chaotic and crazy. So just remember, we're goal setting, but we're realists here. Like at the end of the day, this is not something to beat yourself up about. It's just a way to give yourself a little bit of direction so that you can actually just in whatever ways that are possible for you in a healthy way, keep growing and keep making your life what you want it to be. And if it isn't right now what you want it to be, start making a shift in that direction. Okay guys, so if you have any goals that you want help breaking down, feel free to video in and we can chat about your goal, break it down into steps. If you are just joining us and you haven't done these yet, pick 3 to 5 2022 goals for career, 3 to 5 larger goals for career, finances, mind, spirit, creativity, health, relationships, and inner healing. Okay, and then once you have your 5 goals, so this is like goal number 1 here, you're actually going to go down and you're going to break this into as many steps as you can possibly imagine. So here I'm saying that one of my goals is I want to connect with my shadow self more. So meditation every single day. I'm going to say specifically shadow journal prompts. So really, like, if not every single day, I probably am going to want to do it at least let's keep it manageable, right, guys? Shadow journal prompts 1 time a week. So once a week, I'm going to really sit for like 20 minutes. I'm going to sit, I'm going to write down, I'm going to pick a shadow work prompt. I'm going to, you know, sit down, meditate with it, and then really write out and answer it. And that way I give myself something tangible. I'm only going to do that. I'm going to commit to that, 1 time a week. But I would love to do it more. So what's cool about that is that we can always do it more and feel really good about over accomplishing, but we set it up for success, that if I get it done once a week, that's totally doable for me and I will make that happen. Yeah, I'm going to say radical self-responsibility here. You guys, I want to be real with you. Like, you all know when you fuck up. We all know when we fuck up, okay? We all know when we said something we shouldn't have said, or we did something that hurt somebody, or, you know, we, like, even if it brings shame, even if we didn't intend to do it, it's really important that we take radical self-responsibility. Now, this is kind of like part of what I was talking about before with breaking down these goals. What the hell does this look like? Radical self-responsibility, like what does that actually look like day to day, right? So if we can break this down into even more bite-sized pieces, radical self-responsibility, so it includes like the meditating and the shadow journal prompts and really owning that. Maybe it means like checking in I would say regularly, maybe like monthly, with close friends to see if my shadows have been affecting them. And then opening a conversation about it, you know, and opening up the conversation. And that's something that I can do once a month. I can reach out to my closest friends and say, hey, I'm doing shadow work. I know you've been really nice to me. I know you love me. And you probably haven't told me when I've upset you or I have done something that's bothered you. But I'm working on it right now. So I would love to know, like, is there anything that I could do better to be a better friend to you? You know, is there anything that I've done that I could take responsibility for? And this doesn't mean like you're not actually being judicious about this. Like, you know in your heart of hearts, like if what somebody's saying to you is a projection of themselves, or if it's something that you really need to look at, because you'll feel it in your body. Like you'll be like, ooh, yeah, like I can see that. I can see how saying that maybe was like not really helpful, or whatever it is that your friends are telling you. So it's more about like just regulating the feelings of shame and guilt or whatever, and just checking in, right? So this is kind of the idea. Here's the main goal, right? Connect to my shadow self regularly. And then here are the steps I'm going to take to connect with my shadow self regularly. Oh man, I just had a friend break up because of their projections. Oh my God, me too. Severin, this whole year, I'm telling you, girl, this whole year was like fucking shadow work. I've been deep in the shadows this year, you guys. I don't know if you can relate. Please let me know. Deep in the shadows with lots of mental health stuff, with depression, with trauma responses, and with also a lot of people around me really projecting so much of their own shit that I had to take a giant step back from like 80% of my relationships. 80%, like a lot of people. But I feel really good now. So I'm so sorry you're going through a friend breakup. Sometimes I feel like friend breakups are harder than romantic breakups, especially if you've like known that person for a long time, or you really let them in. It's almost worse, I think. Okay, so this is how we break down the goals, guys. That's it. I'm not gonna spend a ton of time breaking down all of my goals. Would it be helpful to see one more breakdown, or would you like me to go into how to transfer this into your calendar and scheduling it? Because that's the next step. I can totally break one more down, or I can break down one of your goals. Let me know in the comments. We're jamming out some lo-fi music, lo-fi beats. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna break down one more goal for you to show you how to break down these larger goals. And then we're gonna move into then transferring these smaller bite-sized pieces into actual, into your calendar, and how to organize your calendar so you can get everything done. So let's see. What category should I break down what goals do you want to see me break down? Which one of these categories would be helpful? Let me know. And some of these goals will be bigger than others, right? So connecting with a part of your, my inner child or your shadow self, that's gonna be more bite-sized. I'm looking at my list right now, and on my list is plan my wedding. I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been engaged to my fiance for a year and a half. We just celebrated our 7-year anniversary. We're a bunch of old fucks. We love each other so much, but we literally have no plan for our wedding, and people keep asking us. So I have to plan it. So that's gonna go on there. But in terms of breaking this down into bite-sized pieces, that's gonna take a while. So this is gonna have probably 100 bite-sized pieces versus something like this, which is, just a couple of pieces, like 3. So give yourself a combination of like large things that you're trying to plan and do in 2022, and then small things. They don't all have to be super huge goals, right? And so the way I always break it down is like, okay, so to plan a wedding, let me brain dump everything that I know I need to do for this to happen, right? And if I don't know steps that I need to make it happen, then I research. That is how I do it. So plan a wedding, we need to pick a date. We need to create invites. We need to pick, a venue. I need to pick a dress. Let's see. Find some help. I might hire a wedding coordinator because I literally I can't be stressed. Or conversely, we may just have like a 5-person wedding where we just like fuck off to Joshua Tree and have something super casual. So if you're joining us, quick recap, we're just breaking down goals, and I'm showing you kind of how I take my larger 2022 goals and put them into bite-sized pieces so that you can get it done. So all of these are like, these are just some examples. So if I'm going to pick a date, right, I want you guys to look at these sub goals or like steps, these, first steps that you're taking to execute this goal. And I want you to break it down to the tiniest possible piece. And the reason that we do this is so you don't get overwhelmed and so you can actually get stuff done. So when you're writing your daily to-do list and you're like, what are my top 3 things to do? You're not writing on your to-do list like, today I'm gonna plan my wedding. That's just like not gonna happen. So pick a date and some other things. Ooh, did I just miss a request, you guys? I'm so sorry. If you wanna, video in and talk about your goals, totally feel free. I think I just maybe missed somebody that was, sorry about that. Feel free to jump on again and try to call in again. No worries, I will keep an eye on it. Yes, this is gonna be saved for later. I'm gonna try and upload it to IGTV. And if anything, I'll do what I did last time, which is upload it to YouTube. So, and feel free to DM me. I am here to help you with whatever it is you've got going on. If you have not yet signed up for our group Discord community, you are going to want to. Oh my God, you're so welcome, Alyssa. You're going to want to. It's totally free. I'm doing a 90-day Get Your Shit Together challenge. I should have just called it that. I picked I call it the Total Reset Challenge, but really it's a Get Your Shit Together challenge for 2022. I basically have put myself through hell this year. And also experienced a lot of crazy shit. So starting January 1st, I am going back onto a super regimented healing routine and healing, regimen. It's going to be very, it's going to be just hopping back on that healing wagon, I guess, is like the best way to say it. So what we're doing is we're following a set of 5 rules over the course of 90 days. All of us are going to be on Discord. We're going to be showing up every single day for 5 rules, which is, I think, I'm not going to tell you. Go to the Discord. It's all written down there. The link is in my bio. It's totally free to sign up for this challenge. I'm going to be hosting live group calls, support calls. We'll be doing fun community events, group movie nights, dance parties, somatic releasing, meditation. We're going to be doing all of this stuff. I'm going to be hosting, and it's all free. And I just wanted to create a really dope healing community, because one of the things that has been a really hard part of this healing journey is feeling really alone. So if you too felt alone on your journey, or you're feeling alone, please join me, come hang out with us. We already have, I think, almost 100 people in the Discord. Welcome, Noom. I see all of you guys joining the Discord as getting notifications. So head to the link in bio, join. Everything's free. It's just I want to create a community and a place for all of you guys to really meet each other and hang out and support one another and keep each other accountable. So for 90 days, we'll be getting our mental health back in shape, you guys. And this is the first step, is creating these goals for ourselves, and then following the 5 rituals that we're going to be doing every single day. So if you are interested in that and you want to jump in on the Discord. We're not starting until January 1st. So you have a couple of days. I think you have 3 days left. And because the Discord is so big, I was going to leave it open, but I'm going to close it at 250. So we are almost at 100 people. If you want to get in on this 90-day program, to get your shit together, to feel better, happier, less anxious, less depressed, more hopeful, more in control, jump in, because I will not be able to coach more than 250 of you at a time. Okay, in the Discord. Okay, so the 5, it's in the first actual, actually I can pull up the Discord for you so you can see it. It's in the welcome, it's pinned to the welcome channel. Let me see. Okay, so you'll find it start here. In the hashtag start here. It's the first one under welcome. And if you go to hashtag start here and you go to the top, right here, you'll see a pin, and you can click on that to see pin messages, or just scroll to the top of the hashtag start here, and you'll be able to see the pin messages, which the first one is the rules. I'm also going to be hosting a kickoff call this Saturday. I think it's Saturday. It's whatever January 1st is. I'm hosting a kickoff call, and we'll be going over all the rules and all the things. And I already have our first sponsored giveaway, and I'm so excited. So if you show up for this healing work, you guys, I am calling in all of my friends who own amazing brands, and we are going to be giving you shit. What better incentive to get healed than to be if I show up for 10 days in a row and I show my accountability picture that I did my mental health work, I could potentially get, you found it, great. I could potentially get some dope clothing from Daughters of Culture, or some really beautiful self-care tools like a gua sha stone, or even coaching with me. I am going to show up as hard as you guys show up. So it's all about what you want to make of this community, and the more that you guys support each other and jump in on there and tell me what you want, the faster I will make it happen. So I'm very, very excited. I'm going to close the doors at 250 people on the Discord channel because I want to keep everything really in integrity and not grow too quickly. So get in there right now if you are, even thinking about it. Okay, so going back to what we're doing here, we've broken down kind of these larger goals into sub-goals, into sub-steps, just keeping it bite-size, bite-size, bite-size. Can I make this smaller? Can I make this smaller? Can I make this smaller? Once you do this for, all of your goals, then you're gonna have a list of tasks, right? So now these are, so now these are tasks that you're gonna have to implement into your calendar, because it's nice to have this sheet here, this where you have your steps, but we need to make sure you actually take the steps, okay? Because when you're not taking the steps forward, nothing is gonna happen. So how does that look? So I'm a really, really, really big fan of Google Calendar. I know there's other ways of organizing things. I used to have a project management system on ClickUp where I had all of these goals and then I had all of the sub steps written out on ClickUp, and that's super helpful if you're very type A. But I'm the kind of person that, please tell me if this is you too. I'm the kind of person that gets overwhelmed by that. I see people on TikTok with these insane organizational things where they have a board and then they have 30 tasks and subtasks and timelines and yes, that's really great for people who are probably neurotypical, but for someone with ADHD, it's just way too much. Once I've done that whole organization, my brain is totally overwhelmed and I stop there. So I found that what really works for me is actually breaking it down into quarters. Right? So quarters meaning, what do I want to get done in 90-day chunks? So 3-month periods. And this is kind of how the financial world works, right? And how business world works. We do things in quarters. So we have the first quarter of the year is January, February, and March. Okay? So if you're thinking about January, February, and March, what are 3 goals from here or 4 goals that you want to start working on? Right? Don't start doing all the goals at once. Pick 2 or 3 or 4 to really focus on. And say, okay, in the first quarter of the year, I am going to, I probably won't, actually no, fuck yes, I can do this. Okay, so in the first quarter, I'm gonna launch that's my commitment to you guys. I'm gonna launch my journal prompt card deck by March, okay? So if that's what I want to do, and I'm giving myself, this is going to be something that I'm going to do in the first quarter, then I'm going to want to see, what am I going to do January, what am I going to do February, and what am I going to do in March? So if I'm looking at these, right, kind of sub steps that I've written out, writing out the journal prompts is one of the first steps. So I'm going to use pink to highlight first steps. So that would be a first step. This would be a first step. This would be a first step, organizing the cards into which groups they're going to go into. I'd say this is probably a nice chunk of stuff to do for January. So it's kind of hard to see. So I apologize if it's a little hard to see. I'm going to move it closer. So for this is going to be what I do in January. It's going to be in pink, right? So all I have to do in January to reach my goal by March is write out what journal prompts and exercises I want to have in the card deck and organize them into groupings, okay? So what's the second stage? Second stage in February will probably look something like this. That's when I'm going to design the cards. So I have already the prompts. I have what I'm going to actually put onto the cards. And now I'm going to go and design them. I'm going to research designs that I like. I'm going to pick a style. I may hire somebody to help me figure out how to create the cards and the designs, because I'm not a graphic designer or digital artist. I am terrible at that. So not my forte. And so that's going to be what I do in February, is the actual creation portion of this goal. I'm going to set up the cards. Now, when I'm done, this is going to be March. Okay, so I'm going to set up my drop ship account. I'm going to get the cards ready to go. I'm going to test the cards out with people, get some focus groups going to see like what people like and what people don't. And then I'm going to finish by launching and marketing the cards on social media. So that's it, right? So now we've taken this one larger goal. We've decided this is one of the goals I want to accomplish in the first quarter of the year, the first 3 months. Break it up into 3-month chunks, right? And then for each month, you're going to assign yourself the tasks to do. So please let me know if this makes sense, you guys, and if this is helpful for you, because this is literally how I do everything. And this is how, you know, I, as a person with ADHD and also a trauma survivor who like gets, I don't know if this is you, but like, you know, I can get very overwhelmed by tasks. I can, you know, my nervous system is like, this is too much change. This is like too much work. Like you're never going to be able to do this. It's going to be too stressful. So the way that, you know, I've learned how to break down these goals into just what's the baby steps? What are the baby steps that I can take every single day kind of a thing? I built, you know, a 7-figure business in 2.5 years. So this is not attached to the story about being from New Jersey and Kai. This has nothing to do with that. If you guys are here for that though, and you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm totally happy to answer. I know that post went like super viral and I was actually really surprised because I didn't think it was like that big of a deal, but yeah, that was a long time ago. I was 19, living in LA, and this was like 13 years ago when him and I were seeing each other. And it was really brief. It wasn't anything like seriously intense, but it was long enough that when I saw that Dateline episode, I almost shit my pants. I was like, what the fuck? What is this? Anyway, yeah. So if you have any questions about that or anything, just let me know. Okay, so this is now, if you're here for the actual thing that we're doing today though, breaking down our goals for 2022, breaking them down into quarterly tasks. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna jump onto your Google Calendar and you're gonna give yourself dates to do this stuff and you're gonna color coordinate. So with my Google Calendar, I have everything in here from self-care to fun activities to each one of my coaching offerings. So like appointments, everything in green is like one-on-one coaching calls. These purple ones are for intensives. The orange one is for my group coaching program that I teach business to healers, this is the last round that I'm doing of that. Blue are appointments, and there's other things. So basically what I'm in the process of doing right now is I'm pretty excited because I actually didn't know you could customize your colors on your Google Calendar. I know that seems like pretty basic, but you can actually customize the colors that you use for your different calendars and make them aesthetic. And I freaking love that because I'm all about the aesthetics. The aesthetics. Okay. Hello everybody. We are just organizing our goals for 2022. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so what I like to do to get, if you want to go bougie with this and get extra fancy, is I will look at, let's say, what did I search for last time? Pastel color palette. Okay, so I really love pastels. I love soft colors, but Pinterest has some amazing like swatch boards. So these are like, you know, colors that all go together. So if you find something that you really love, these could be your Google Calendar colors. And like sometimes making your calendar colors fun helps you, you know, show up for the organization, which for me, I'm like a color, you know, person. So I love love, love, love pops of color, and I love making it unique to me. When you're doing this, there's something called a hex code, and HEX, and that's basically when you go into your Google Calendar, you're gonna go to the sides where it has your calendars listed. Oh, you can't really see, hold on. So it'll be like this area, and you're gonna click these triple dots, and you're gonna see a list of kind of colors come up, and then you'll see a plus sign. You click that plus sign, and it'll take you to a color picker. And this is the hex code. It's basically like a hashtag with letters and numbers that equate to a very specific color, almost as if you were a painter and you mix colors together. It's like the unique mix of all of those colors is this hex code. So what I like to do, what I've been doing, is I found a color palette that I love on Pinterest for my Google calendars, and then I saved the image. And when you save the image, because it won't give you the hex code necessarily, what I like to do is head over to this website called Image Color Picker. And you can upload any photo, and this is great if you're doing branding and design work for yourself or for someone else, but you can drop your photos in here. This was another palette that I really liked. And it actually will give you the hex codes. You can double click, and then the hex code is right here. So you just copy and paste it into your Google Calendar. So I love this pink. I'm gonna hit copy on the hex code. I'm gonna go back to my Google Calendar. And let's say I want to do this one for, let's say, I don't know, fun activities. How about that? So you will just paste, and there you go. Now this category, anything that I create, is going to show up in this color, and you see how everything up here kind of shifted into this new color. Now this color is going to be there. So I am going to go through today and actually change all of these to match the color palette that I want to have, and then I'm going to break down the calendar, the different calendars into what you're doing for your goals, right? So let's see. So these are, let's say, how do I want to do this? So let's go back to like the Untitled document. Okay, so now we have our tasks that we're going to be doing. These are the January tasks that I set out to do. And so what I'll say to myself is go, okay, when in January do I want to do the 100 journal prompts? Like, how do I want to break that down? So what I'll say is like, okay, maybe what I want to do, it's like 10 journal prompts for 10 days. So starting Monday, January 3rd, that feels like a good time to start. I actually purposefully do not schedule any calls on Mondays. These are my days to do my creative work, to build products, to check on clients, and to do self-care. I like to ease into my week. So since it's a creative day, Mondays and Fridays are my creative days. So since those are the creative days, I'm gonna put into my calendar when I'm gonna do it. So you know what? I'm gonna commit to 10 a.m. 10 a.m. on January 3rd. And I'm gonna say, create 10 journal prompts for the deck. Okay, click more options. And then you'll see here you can add notes, you can add attachments. So if you already have, like, if you're inspired and you're like in the tub or something and you're coming up with some journal prompts, you can just open up your Google Calendar thing and you can just type in on the bottom any of the journal prompts that are coming to mind as you're inspired, and then you can just, you know, that day put them into a document. Otherwise, it's just gonna land in your calendar. So it's there. Make sure you have a notification or a couple turned on to make sure that it pops up into your phone and reminds you, hey, from 10 to 11, you're committing to writing these prompts, okay? So with this as well, once you have your different categories, it's going to ask you what category you want to put it under. And this is how you're going to stay super organized. You're going to have a category that's going to be like, I guess for this, it would just be like creation or creative, because it's in the creative section of my goals. I mean, it's really personal, like how you end up breaking up your calendar and like what categories you give yourself. For this, it will probably be like something like either a work calendar or a like probably creative work is going to be the name of the calendar that this goes on. So that way you can, keep things clear. I'm creating a separate calendar for the 90-day challenge. And so that's going to go on here. And you can create as many calendars as you want to. So you can do like categories like, gym or working out, meetings, coaching calls, like creative time, fun activities, self-care. Or if you have something specific going on, like the 90-day challenge that we're doing, you can create a category that's just for the 90-day challenge and the activities that you need to do for that. So for the challenge, we're going to be meditating for 5 minutes every single day, journaling every single day. We're going to be moving our body for 45 minutes every single day, whether you break it up into multiple kind of things, or you want to, in the morning, maybe you do 20 minutes of stretching and getting into your body that way, or dancing. And then maybe at night you do a 25-minute walk outside or something. You don't have to do it all at once in like a hard workout, but we're going to move our bodies. So all of that's going to have to go into the calendar, because when it's all scheduled, when every little thing is scheduled, we get so much more done and we feel so much more in flow, because we're not actually having all this shit in our head where we're like, oh my God, I got to organize. I got to like do this. I got to do that. I don't know what to do. And it never gets done that way, So I really encourage you guys, like, explore Google Calendars, set up calendars that are specific for the things going on in your life, color coordinate, and use colors that actually excite you by going onto Pinterest and finding these color palettes and getting the hex codes by downloading the images and uploading them to this website called imagecolorpicker.com, or you can just Google hex code color picker, and there's a lot of websites that are totally free where you can upload the image and get the actual hex codes for the colors and bring it back here and have a really aesthetic, beautiful calendar. And I promise you guys, when things look really pretty and organized, you get shit done. So what I'm going to be doing over the next probably a few days leading up to the challenge that starts on January 1st is that I'm actually going to be writing out basically what we did today, breaking down all of my goals that I wrote down during our vision boarding party the other day, and I'm going to take all these goals, break them down into bite-sized pieces, and then decide what time of year I want to do all of these things, whether it's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third, or the fourth. Break it up into 3-month chunks. And then break down, okay, if I want to do this one goal in the first quarter, in the time between January, February, and March, then where do all of these tasks, these subtasks that are going to add up to creating or reaching the goal, where do all of these subtasks fit in the calendar, right? And so then chunking them by month. So this is going to be January, this is going to be February, and this is going to be March. And by March, I'm going to have that goddamn deck out for you guys. And I'm really excited. It's going to be awesome. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then, of course, taking these steps. And the final stage is to begin implementing and putting into your calendar when you're going to execute these steps, right? Don't just say, okay, I'm going to break down the steps and have all the steps. Like, have the steps and then go, okay, when am I doing this? Commit. I'm putting it in the calendar. I'm creating time. And you'll see, we think we have like so much less time in our life than we actually do. If we took half as much time to, as we do scrolling and like, giving attention to things that don't really matter, if we took that time and actually turned it towards ourselves and really focused it intentionally, we would get so much more shit done, and you will find yourself in a completely different situation in your life, and you're going to be pretty shocked at how much you get done and how far you go. I know I was, and when I started doing this in 2016, 2016, 17, I'd say 2017 is kind of when I started really breaking this stuff down. I started my business in 2018, late 2018. And it's how I grew like as fast as I did, and why I actually was able to find success in like not just like career, but also like in my relationships, because I was being very intentional about like how I was using my time. So it's all about intentionality and understanding that time slips away so fast. And so this is just in an effort to give you an opportunity to, you know, take your time back and take your life back. So if all of this sounds good, you know, let me know. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going to just quickly glance over. Welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, everybody. Cool. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to post this on my Instagram, IGTV, with the full walkthrough and the breakdown of how to do all of this stuff. Last time I tried to upload it, it was too long for IGTV, so I ended up putting it on YouTube. So just follow me on Instagram as well, because that's where I'll let you know where it's going to be posted for the replay. But I really want you guys to like give yourselves the gift of breaking down some goals, you know, and like scheduling it in and like making that shit happen, because it's not going to happen by itself. Like, we don't just fall into healing. We don't just like fall into a business. We don't fall into success. I think we don't fall into happiness. We wait a long time for happiness to just show up. And this shit doesn't just show up. You have to actually like plan out, okay, what am I going to do every day so that I can call in and cultivate that happiness that I really want? So all of this stuff applies to every part of your life, not just like the 3D practical stuff, but also like the spiritual, the healing, the inner stuff. It's really important. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. And just so you guys, thanks for all the love and the follows. You guys are so awesome. So just so you guys know, we start our 90-day free challenge. Starts on the 1st. It starts Saturday. We have a kickoff party. It's going to be awesome. There's already 100 people, I think, almost in the Discord server. So I decided I'm not going to overwhelm myself this time by trying to help everybody as much as I want to. I didn't realize the Discord server was going to blow up the way it did, actually. I was like, oh, maybe like 5 people will do this with me. And I'm like shocked that there are so many of you guys, and I'm just really, really excited because the energy in there is amazing. We've already been like sharing animal pictures of our pets and like connecting over, you know, the mental health journeys that we've been on, and getting to know each other. And I'm going to be just creating a space that I have always wanted to have, where we can meet safe, awesome, conscious people. Not like spiritually bypassing conscious people, but like actual real conscious people who are doing the work on themselves and calling themselves out on their own shit and like showing up and getting in the ring and really doing the work. And so it's open to anybody at all. If you are ready to reset your mental health and your mind-body machine, we start January 1st, and we're all gonna be following 5 steps every single day. They're small little things that you can absolutely do even if you're busy, if you're a busy mom, if you're busy with work, if you are overwhelmed easily or anxious easily. It's manageable. And then it's going to be a really big support system in the Discord. So it's totally free. I'm not charging anything for this. I know that's freaking crazy and weird, but I just truly, since I've started my business and my social media presence, all I've wanted is to create this kind of a community, and now that there's Discord, it's like the perfect place to host it. So I'm really excited. We're gonna have group calls, we're gonna have support circles, we're gonna have moon rituals, we're gonna have movie watch nights. If you're in Southern California, maybe we'll do some like group hangouts. I'm gonna teach you meditation, and I'm really gonna be spending a lot of time in there with you guys, supporting you. And then I'm going to be doing the 90-day challenge too, because I need to get my mental health back, and I've already been working on it, and I already feel such a freaking improvement that I am really stoked to be able to continue this journey with you guys, starting on January 1st. What if you're in Australia? Amazing. We have people all over the world, actually, so feel free to join. You do it on your time. The group calls and things like that, I will do my best to make sure that as many of you can join as possible. I'm very mindful. I have clients who actually live in Australia. So I know kind of like the time differences, and I'm gonna do my best to create it so that most of this stuff is, during times that overlap and at different times, so that, like everybody can kind of get in on some stuff. So if you're in Australia, if someone just joined from Portugal, like Italy, we have UK, we have Germany, we have like lots and lots of Chile, we have like lots of wonderful folks from all over the world. Come hang out. And what's cool about Discord is that it's like, you can be on there all day long, and so there are going to be folks on there in your time zone who are going to be active throughout the day when you're awake, not just like centralized here in California, because it's a big community from all over the world. So I'm really excited. Yes, come hang out with us. Hit the link in my bio. It's totally free. It's the Discord. It's the first link to join the 90-day challenge. All the instructions for the challenge will be in there. All the, the schedule for all the events and the group calls and the extra stuff. We have our first sponsored giveaway. So if you guys show up for the healing work, I'm gonna give you shit. Like, I want you to get this done. I want you to get out of your own way, okay? So I'm wearing this right now. This is actually from my friend and one of my favorite designers, Peggy. She runs a ethical clothing company called Daughters of Culture, and she makes everything sustainably made and ethically sourced, and it's really just fabulous designs and fabrics and fits all body types. I'm like, here, I'll show you my little romper. I'm like obsessed with this because I feel like I'm wearing nothing, but it's cute, right? Like, hey Peggy, give me a discount and give you all my money, right? So if you guys come join, she's actually gonna be gifting one of you guys who shows up for the work some clothing and some cool stuff. So she's gonna be our first sponsored giveaway. I'm so glad you love it. I love her so much, and all of her clothing just feels so good on your body and has such good energy. So that's the whole point. I want us to like bond. I want us to support each other. I want us to be there for each other. This year was a fucking dumpster fire. So like, this is the safe space to kind of go and be real about what's happening for you and open up and get that support from, like a group. And oh, thank you for the rose. You're so great. Appreciate you. So yeah, I'm really excited, and whether this turns into like a long-term membership, I don't know. I'm kind of just seeing how it goes, this time, but at least for the first quarter of the year, for the first 90 days, you guys are going to get free coaching, free resources, free community, all the good things, because we are here to have a mental health revolution, and not everybody can afford like premium coaching stuff. So I am really excited to have this for you guys, this space. We're already on there, so be sure to hit the link in my bio, join. I'm closing the doors for the Discord as soon as I hit 250 members. We already have 100. It's only been open for like a day, and I'm like, I gotta cap it and I gotta close it. So if you want to take advantage, I definitely recommend jumping in sooner rather than later, because as soon as I hit that number, I have to close it. I really want to maintain the integrity of this group and make sure that everybody gets attention and everybody, has, room to speak in these calls. And, not everybody's going to attend the calls, I'm sure, but I just want to make sure that it's doable. So if you guys are interested, like, just jump in. All right. Oh, you're watching the Dateline episode. You guys are like crazy about this whole thing with the Dateline episode. I literally was like, no one's gonna care, and everybody cared. But yeah, it was crazy, the Dateline episode. Yeah, if you haven't seen that story time, go check it out. It was fucking crazy. And all I'm gonna say is that like about that is just like, as a survivor of a chaotic childhood and childhood trauma, one of the things I came to watch part 2. Yes. And you're live. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Do I need to get off live so you can see part 2? I need to know what happened. I was okay. Yeah. So basically I was watching, for those of you who didn't see it, I was watching Dateline, and like, imagine sitting on your couch and like some guy you dated for 8 weeks when you were 19 years old shows up on Dateline. I mean, he wasn't the bad guy, his dad was, but like, still, I was sitting there, I was like, it's like in my pajamas, just kind of like scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden I was like, okay, I guess I'll watch like the new episode. And I'm like, I love murder mysteries and I love serial killer shit, so like, you know, I'm all about true crime. And I just was like watching it, and it was like Peter Nygard, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I know, I dated a guy whose last name was Nygard. And I was like, I wonder how common that name is. And then the second picture was of his face, of the guy I dated. And I was like, oh my God, that's the guy. And I was like, I screamed into the other room to my fiance, and I was like, oh my God, like Devin, like this guy I dated for 8 weeks, his dad's a fucking sex trafficker, billionaire, Jeffrey Epstein from Canada. And like, I watched the whole thing in my fucking mouth. Like you heard how nervous I was talking about it. I was like, my floor dropped to the ground. Like, no, my mouth dropped to the floor. And then my whole body dropped to the ground because I was just like, what is this? But it was the craziest thing. And the fact that like, to this day, I have thought about that house in Marina Del Rey. Like, it gave me the worst feeling. It gave me the worst heebie-jeebies. I never felt unsafe with Kai. He was always very kind to me, and I don't think he knew anything that was really happening. Also, you guys have to understand, like in Los Angeles, it's a very weird place, and there's a lot of these older rich men who like bring around a lot of these like younger women, and they're very predatory, and so it's a horrible thing. But it's also like, it wasn't that like weird that he had a dad that he didn't have a relationship with, who was like had all this money and traveled and like had all these young women around. Like, it's actually like, it's really terrible to say, but it's like pretty common in LA. It's just a very like predatory place, and that's why I literally stopped. I got out of the acting world, and I was like, this is just, all of this feels like it's dangerous. If you're just joining, I'm just spilling the tea on that Dateline story time about that guy I dated. Let's see what episode. It was I think it was the latest episode. It was not the taco guy. Who was the taco guy? Who's the taco guy? Anyway, so yeah, so I dated this guy, Kai, and then so I was watching Dateline, and I saw that all this stuff was going down with his dad, and it made a lot of sense. I met his dad one time, and he was so creepy, and I got a very weird vibe. That's all I'm gonna say. But I was gonna say the funny thing about childhood trauma, and it's not funny, but when you grow up in chaos, when you grow up and your nervous system is so dysregulated, and you have grown up not trusting your own instincts and your own feelings, you will put yourself in dangerous fucking situations and gaslight yourself. And the funny, crazy, weird thing is that as I was watching this, I had all these really vivid memories come back about when I would go to the house, and the way the house was, it was like a fortress. How I would feel in my body, like, this is not safe, this is not safe. Like, you know when you're like, there's a dark alley and it's late and you're like, it's probably fine. Like, it's probably not fine. Like, don't go down that dark alley. Like, it's probably not fine. And I was like, no, it's fine. I'm like, this is just because I'm nervous dating a new guy. This is just because he comes from a family with a lot of money. Like, this is just, you know, nerves. And really what it was is like 100% I was picking up on like that this was, my body was picking up on the fact that this was not a safe place to be in, that for whatever reason, I shouldn't be there. Yeah, I was in the house. Like, I've been to the house multiple times. I'll check it out. So, yeah, I had been there multiple times, actually. And the way that it kind of was set up was like a fortress, like I said. But where Kai, the guy I dated, his son, where he lived was like almost like above the garage in a private apartment. And so when we would go to the house, like, first of all, he never told me the address. I asked multiple times, and he was like, oh, it's just like Marina Del Rey, don't worry about it. And I was like, okay. Like, right? And so every time we would go there, it would be like this really heavy energy. I felt like it was dark. It was like, it was right on the beach and it was so sunny, but like inside the house was like dark, brooding, heavy, death-like energy. Like, it was not, it was like unlike any other place I had ever been in, actually. Like, it was very weird. But the way that it was with that, he would be like, okay, like, let's just go to my apartment. And so when we would enter the house, he was very particular about like, okay, like quiet. And I was like, why? Like, no one's here. And he was like, just be quiet. Like, I don't want anybody to know I'm here. I don't want, like, you know, my dad to know I'm here. And his dad really wasn't there, like, at all, like, ever. But it was creepy. It was really weird. And I was like, why do I feel like I have to be, like, hiding? And so that was always a weird thing. And we would go in the front door, and then he would go right and kind of like just walk me right into his apartment, close the door, and then it felt like he could breathe. It felt like it was like, oh, okay, now we can talk. Now we can actually, you know, get into it. Hi, Stories Within. Thank you for the gift. But yeah, so I went over there a bunch of times. We dated for like 2.5 months, and then eventually what felt like really randomly was that I don't know that he knew what his dad was doing, but I think he always told me like he never had a relationship with him, and that he didn't like him, and that he didn't think he was a good guy. Like, I don't think he knew to the extent of what was happening. I don't know that he was like fully aware, but when we talked, he was like, it was at a point where he was like, I'm trying to like reconnect with my dad. I didn't really grow up really close with my dad. I don't really like know him that well, and he's always traveling and living abroad in different areas. Like, he had a private island, I think in the Bahamas or something, and then he also had like a compound like Jeffrey Epstein, and then he had like you know, homes all over the world. So he was never really present and like involved in Kai's life. And so when Kai was in his 20s, he moved in into his dad's house in Marina Del Rey. They were like trying to, you know, he was trying to like rekindle some kind of father-son relationship, get to know him more. And his father was Peter Nygaard. So he was on Dateline recently as a really horrific sex trafficker. Yeah, Kai's very good looking. Yeah, so that's what happened. I mean, it's not like a huge story. It's just like, I basically dated a guy, I didn't know that his dad was involved in all of this crazy shit, but I felt it in my body. I felt like something was really wrong. And then one day Kai was 27 and I was 19. And I thought that was totally normal, which now I'm like, I don't think that's normal. I don't know, maybe that's like that feels like, you know, in terms of like maturity level, like a 30-year-old and like a teenager, like a 19-year-old, I feel like that's, I don't know. So, you know, he broke up with me, and his reasoning was, ironically, you guys, his reasoning was, you're too young for me and I don't feel comfortable being in this relationship. Meanwhile, his dad was like trafficking young teenage girls, sex trafficking them. So it's like, whew, I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and just like how when we experience a lot of dysregulation, chaotic shit going on in our childhoods, it's really easy to gaslight ourselves when we're feeling bad vibes. It's really easy to kind of explain away bad behavior, or to not honor what we're feeling in our bodies, which actually our bodies pick up on danger and energy signals way faster than our brain does. That's how we evolved. We didn't have our conscious mind and our frontal lobes developed. Like the first parts of us that developed were survival mechanisms to survive being a caveman and like being able to live. And so the gut feeling that you guys feel in here is actually coming from your vagus nerve, which controls your entire nervous system, your fight, flight, freeze, collapse system. And that gut feeling is actually 500 million neurons in your gut that are designed to keep you alive and keep you safe. When we grow up in a chaotic childhood though, and we're told, we feel really dysregulated, we're like, oh my God, my parents are yelling all the time, or I'm getting bullied, or I'm getting abused. And then you're being told as a child, oh no, you're not. Oh no, you should be happy. Oh no, everything is fine. You start to learn a habit of completely disassociating from your body wisdom, not trusting this machine that's here to keep you alive. And sorry, my dogs are like running around. and actually you put yourself in harm's way because you're not listening to your own instincts. So part of the healing that I've done, a lot of it has been reconnecting to my body and like really learning what it's trying to show me and tell me, so I don't continue to put myself in bad situations. But this was like such a like fucking full circle moment to see this on Dateline and go, I was right! This wasn't good! This was not good! There was something so freaking wrong with this, and I didn't know what it was, and like that's what it was, and everything just made so much sense. So anyway, I'm still here like thinking about it and just like, Jesus, I dodged a bullet, and I like literally don't know if like he knew anything and if he saved me or if he just, he's a really good guy, you guys. So like, I don't know that he knew anything. I really didn't get that vibe. I feel like I would have definitely picked up on that. I just knew that he just did not like his dad, and that he just didn't have a relationship with him, and that was like mainly what it was. Oh, puppies! Do you guys want to see my puppy? You want to say hi? So yeah, so anyway, I dodged a bullet, and I'm pretty happy about that. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Yeah, age difference between Kai and I. Kai was 27, and I was 19. I was like a sophomore in college. What's up? Thank you for the rose. Did I tell my mom? No, I'm actually not talking to my mom right now. I don't talk to my mom or my dad. I actually had to kind of separate from both of them. They're not together, but I actually, like, my dad is, unfortunately, like, he has narcissistic personality disorder. He's very mentally unstable. He's also bipolar, and he refuses to take care of himself. And so I don't have a relationship with him, and my mom, it's very complicated. So I've taken a step back because truly, like, you just can't surround yourself with unhealed people. Definitely counting my blessings. Definitely. All right, guys, well, this was fun. I have to go take care of my puppy that just ran into the other room. I also have a client call, but do I worry about them seeing this? No, not at all. Trying to figure out how to do that with my parents. It's hard. Yeah, guys, it's so hard. But I think it's like, the idea is like, if there's a person in your life that keeps hurting you over and over and over again and not respecting you, it doesn't matter who they are, you take that step back and give yourself permission to go, no, I'm not doing this. Like, you don't owe your parents, your family, your friends, you owe nothing to nobody, or anybody. You don't owe anything to anybody. And that includes your mom and dad, that includes includes your friends, includes everybody. You don't owe anybody. Link for the outfit, yes. I don't know how do I drop a link in here? I don't know, I'm new to that. DM me if you want to know where to get this outfit. It's Daughters of Culture, and you can use my code OM20 for 20% off. Yeah, hearing someone else's story can make everything make sense. Totally. Oh, love you! I will do more lives. I'm like, I got really nervous, but I'm glad to do it. So I will upload this live to probably YouTube if you guys missed it. The first half of this, we did lots of goal setting and breaking down of like how to break down your 2022 goals into bite-sized tasks. We talked about, creating a custom Google Calendar, how to implement all of your tasks and put them into your calendar and implement them into your day-to-day life. And so if that's helpful for you and you're looking to kickstart your 2022, definitely rewatch this. And then the second half is all the tea about the Dateline episode that I posted story time about Peter Nygaard and his son. So either way, there's something for everybody here. And what episode was it? I think it was the most recent one. It's the episode with Peter Nygaard on Dateline. Peter Nygaard is the person who they're talking about. So I will post that. And then don't forget, join our Discord. Join the free, fun, healing community that we're creating. If you guys are ready to jump into 2022 and like work on your mental health and make some new fun friends and, oh my God, your breath. Make some fun friends and like, I don't know, be a part of like a really fun community. Hit the link in my bio. The Discord channel is now open. The challenge will be held on Discord. There's going to be giveaways, prizes, one of which being clothing from this company because my friend, it's her company and she is so lovely and gonna sponsor our first giveaway. So if you show up for the work, you're gonna get prizes and you're gonna meet new friends and it's gonna be amazing. So I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. If you have any more questions, let me know. Feel free to DM me and then jump into the Discord. It's totally free to do this challenge. It's a 3-month challenge. So you guys, there's gonna be like tons of shit in there. So there's no excuses if you've been waiting because you don't have the money or can't invest in a coaching program or a group program or anything. Like, you have no excuses. This is absolutely free. This is like, there's no money. I'm not like tricking you. Like, I literally just really want to hang out with you guys. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day and your holiday. And if you're having a rough time, I hear you and I see you and I love you and it's going to be okay. And yeah, we will talk soon. Bye, guys. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay. Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, sending you big hugs. Enjoy your day.